By now, everybody has seen one of those Google Maps panes where you've got this small box on a web page, and as you pan through that area, the image behind it might be larger than the box for Google Maps, but you can see just a piece of the map and pan through the rest. Well, that region, that square there, is actually known in Altia speak as a clip object or a clipping region. And just to give you a quick example, let's go to maps.google.com, and we can see that if I reduce the size of my window here, this area is the clip. That image is actually larger than this square region in this image here. It's larger, but I'm able to pan left and right and up and down, and that's because this image is clipped inside this area right here. Alright, so closing that out now, let's talk about how that's done in Altia Design. What we're going to first do is bring in an Altia image object, and I just so happen to have a path to an image I want to use. This is just one of the sample pictures that comes with Windows. Now you can see this is a rather large image, and maybe we want to show it but want to pan around it like a Google map. Alright, so what we're going to do is bring in a clip. Alright, and that's done from the model library called clip, so we'll bring that in. And all we really have to do, if we didn't want to be at all formal about it, is grab our image object and dump it inside the clip. And then focus back out to where the clip is, and you can see that it's now clipped. Now, the clip has some built-in animations. Alright, and those built-in animations control what you're seeing. For example, if I change the X origin state, you can see that we're moving through the X region of that image, and if I change the Y origin, I'm just doing this with a roller mouse. You can press and hold over here too if you prefer. You can see that you're panning through the X and the Y regions. To change a clip's width and height, I just adjust those values here. Maybe I want it pretty large, like 450 by 450. This will show us more of the image, but still not the whole thing. Alright, and I can move the clip around just like any other object. Now, there's a couple things about clips that that we should discuss. First of all, let me set the X origin and Y origin back to 0. Okay, if I focus into the clip so that I'm looking at the default ellipse that comes with it and the image object, you will see that we do indeed have two objects. Well, usually I would suggest that you take those two objects and use the home ribbon to align their left and bottom edges, and then focus out of the clip. That way your X origin 0, 0 is the bottom left corner, and if you increase X origin or decrease X origin, it makes sense because it's based on that 0, 0 bottom left corner of your content. Having said that, I just need to explain something for you to be aware of when using clips. I'm outside of the clip right now. I'm at the sibling level to a clip. I'm going to select a line tool now and draw just a little crosshatch like that. Okay. Now, taking the clip with the move tool, I'm actually going to move it up and against that crosshatch, right, like that, so it looks flush. Okay. Now watch what happens if I move one of the two objects beyond that bottom left corner. Okay, keeping in mind that when we're focused out of the clip, it's currently nudged right up against that crosshatch I drew. Should I take this ellipse and simply move it, let's say that I want to be in here actually, and I want to do relative movement. By the way, this delta triangle is absolute coordinate or relative movement, so I can relatively move it by -5 and -5. Actually, make that a little bit more pronounced. Let's do -10 from there. So this is actually a 15 by 15 offset by the time we're done combining this. So I've basically moved it down 15 and over 15 from where it was. Watch what happens now when I focus out. The clip, the bottom left corner of the clip, is no longer lined up at that crosshatch. The reason for that is inside of a clip, should anything move either further down or further left than the bottom most extreme corner, the clip itself will move. Alright, so generally what we suggest is when you build a clip, you start by lining up these two objects as we did before. So let's actually, I'll just select this ellipse, put it up here, select these two objects, align left and maybe align bottom, and focus out, and that way we can nudge it back up to the nudge there, and you know, our X origin is 0, 0, and that's fine. If you knew that you were not going to animate anything, like say you have a list and you knew that the list was never going to breach that bottom corner, or you knew nothing was ever going to fly around, you could essentially hide the default ellipse and just use your clip however you want, changing X origin, changing Y origin. But should you run into that situation where the clip appears to be moving around on you, like changing physical bottom left corner spot on your GUI, it's because the bottom left corner of the contents of the clip is being breached. So what we do then is suggest that instead, let's put this back to 0 before we start this, just to make things clear. Start by taking this default ellipse that comes with the clip object and go ahead and just move it like -400 and -400. And if I zoom out, you can just see that it's, you know, 400 down and 400 left. Okay, and then focus out. Now, once again zooming out, you can see that the clip has now moved down 400 by 400, and that's because we moved that anchor. So what we're going to do is actually physically move the clip back up 400 and 400, and I'll do that precisely actually. Plus 400 and plus 400. I'm zoomed out to 25% so you can see more of what's going on. Zoom back into 100%. And now it's in the right place. The bottom left corner is lined up with that crosshatch, but you can see here's our photo way up here. Well, we physically moved it back into place, but now we have to tell the clip to look at the right spot. So we just changed the X origin and Y origin to 400 and 400. And from here on out, it's going to operate exactly as we expect when we move X, Y origin and Y origin, but except for 0, 0, we're doing a starting coordinate of 400 and 400. And this will protect us from the clip ever moving around on us physically, because we know that in all the animations we might do to this image object or to anything else inside the clip, this ellipse here is going to sit way down, way beyond anything that all those objects will animate to. So we know that our objects won't travel down or left this far to ever cause a breach of that bottom left corner maximum inside the clip coordinate. So we know that the clip will indeed stay in place, and we're free to adjust our X origin from here. So just keep in mind that that is a behavior of the clip, and you want to set up an offset for that. Alright, that's sort of a basic introductory to a clip combined with advanced usage, because the basic introduction is drag in a clip, toss some stuff in it, and play with the X origin and Y origin until it looks right, and the width and height. But I wanted to mention that other part just in case you ran into the clips that start moving on their own and you're curious why that might be happening.